Howdy, welcome back, everyone. We've been watching the violent and damaging and destructive thunderstorms, possible tornadoes. We think, based on radar, what we saw this afternoon confirmed. Here's a picture. Here's a picture of, it looks like a FedEx truck that was blown over, turned over on I-88. This is by Weaver Road, I believe. I-88 Weaver Road is close to this location. And that's where we figured there was a tornado.
A lot of reports on Facebook with the pictures of golf ball size hail and hail the size even larger than golf balls, so 2 to 2.5 inches in diameter, and that'll put a hurting on anybody's car. There you go, a couple of more pictures right there.
All right, hold on a second, hold on.
Go to Marty. Go to Marty.
All right, let's go to Marty Casper right now in Route 7 in Duanesburg. Marty, what's up? Where exactly are you?
Well, as you said, we're along Route 7 in Duanesburg. Don't know the exact address of where we're standing, but I want to show you just some of the damage that we came upon here. You can see behind me a number of gigantic trees just completely blown over on the place that you see here. I mean, these trees got to be at least 1.5 feet or 2 feet in diameter and just completely snapped in half. Over here, you can see some debris that was ripped apart by the winds that came through this area. Nails are sticking out, making for a very dangerous situation. We're going to bear with us. We're going to take you back now to the front of this house so you can see a little bit more of the damage. I have our photographer, Justin Andrews, pan over here. You can see, again, some of the stumps of these trees that have just been completely snapped in half. Like, I mean, this tree has got to be at least 1 foot to 1.5 feet wide, and it has just been completely snapped. A number of other trees in this area as well. This one uprooted right here. You can see the wind so powerful that it was able to literally pull that tree right out of the ground. We'll continue to make our way to the front of the house here and try to give you a look at what it looks like in the front yard. Across the street, I noticed a similar thing with the trees that had just been completely snapped in half. There's a garage door at a shed here as well that has been blown in and damaged. Now, here's the front of the house that you just saw the back of. You can see, again, more huge trees. These are trees that have been here for years that have just been completely knocked over and knocked down. Don't know about any damage to the house that you're seeing there or if anyone inside was injured. Gonna have our photographer pan over here. Now you can see they have Route 7 closed here in Duanesburg. This is going south on Route 7. It's been closed. They're not letting people through. So if you're in the area, this is definitely a spot you want to avoid. We're going to stay here. We're going to try to find some more damage and try to get an update for you as soon as you can. But for now, reporting live in Duanesburg, I'm Marty Casper for News 10 ABC.
Marty, I'm very familiar with that area, and great job, by the way, getting to that location. You surveyed the damage, and, we all looked at it from here, just the video that you showed, walking around. It looks like a tornado touchdown. The trees are going in different directions. Two trees side by side pointing opposite way. Marty, there's no doubt. I mean, is that what you're seeing from the damages? It's obvious when it's straight line wind. Everything's going the same way. But you're right there. It does look like tornado damage, doesn't it?
It does look, I mean, I come from the Midwest, Northern Illinois, where we had some major tornadoes that come through that area. This looks very similar to a lot of the damage that I've seen growing up. I'm going to take you over here now. This is the front of an apartment complex that we were just in the back of, and you can just see the very front of it. Shingles have been ripped off, and parts of siding have been ripped off. I mean, right now, I'm standing under a spot where there used to be an overhang here. The overhang is completely gone. It's been ripped away from this location. Now, that's not something you normally see with just normal gusts of wind. So something definitely very powerful, very windy came through this area not a short while ago, Cap.
Marty, thank you very much. Great report. Keep us updated. And, what we pray and hope for the most is that nobody was killed or injured from this storm. All right, let's go to Rachel Yankunis, who's on Schoharie Turnpike in Duanesburg. Rachel, what's the latest where you are?
Well, Steve, this section of Schoharie Turnpike up to Crow Hill Road, is shut down. There are down power lines. Take a look over here. This tractor trailer was down the street and it turned over, and luckily there was nobody inside. A neighbor told me that it had been parked here for some time now. Down the street, you can see that is what's causing the road to be shut down, those down trees. Now, if you take a look over to the left, you see a huge tree blocking Crow Hill Road. It just looks like it came right over down. There's a fence by that house. Now, also down the road even more, there are some trees look like they were completely split in half. This storm did do some extensive damage. Of course, you see the sun is out right now, so it did pass, and I will keep you updated with the latest. I'm going to talk to some neighbors that were here when it happened to see what they heard and what they saw. Back to you, Steve.
Rachel, thank you. Keep us posted. Keep us updated with anything else that you may see or some folks that you may talk to.
We got Marty out in Duanesburg with some more pictures and video. Marty.
Andy, the video and the stuff we're seeing is only getting more dramatic and more intense. We've got permission to get in the backyard here. You can see this is the shed that we were trying to show you earlier. I mean, it's huge, and it's literally just been picked up and pushed over onto the back side of it. Different debris from the yard and inside the shed have spread. But one thing I really want to show you that is really an indicator of possible tornadic winds is this right here. This is a piece of siding, a piece of metal. It has literally, I'll get Justin to come up and take a closer look. It is wrapped around the base of the tree here. Now, coming from the Midwest, that's something you typically see usually only when you get those strong twisting tornado winds. Again, we'll show you some more of the trees that are back in here. It's really like walking through a very surreal world. Almost, there's so many trees I can't count them, and they've all just been snapped in half. And they're not small trees, they're not little trees, they're gigantic, and they all look very healthy, very put together, and they've literally just been pushed over, completely bent. Check this one out. Completely uprooted. The wind was so strong as it was pushing against this one that it literally uprooted the entire roots and forced the tree down. I mean, this entire backyard literally looks like a bomb went off. Now, I did have a couple moments to speak with the owner of the house. He and his family were not home when these powerful winds came through here. Luckily, everyone is safe. They've arrived home and discovered this. Of course, as you can imagine, they're very distraught, trying to figure out exactly what the next step is to take. Guys?
This is Altamont. Do we know what street or road it is? This is Bozenkill, so I assume this is the Bozenkill Creek that flooded runoff coming off the hills. The Bozenkill Road is very low in Altamont, and it's surrounded by pretty steep hills on both sides. The Helderberg Escarpment, there's a lot of drainage, so what you see here, 2 inches of rain that probably fell in a matter of a half an hour.
Marty Casper live in Duanesburg. He's by the ambulance company there, I believe, and he's got some incredible video to report on. Marty.
That's right, Cap. We're standing next to the Duanesburg Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Check it out. The entire side of this building has literally just fallen or been ripped off of the building. Now, I was told by folks who work here that at the time the storm rolled through, no one was inside and no injuries have been reported with the damage that you're seeing. Obviously, this is by far the worst damage to a structure that we've seen so far since we've been out here. We're going to keep walking over so you can see literally the wall has been ripped off the side of the building. The garage doors have been pushed in on top of the ambulances. Debris from inside, all sorts of medical devices have been strewn about in the area. And let me just show you where, sitting next to this area is a lot. Going to have our photographer Justin pan and show you just tree after tree after tree after tree have all just been knocked down or stripped of their limbs and leaves. This is a huge indicator that a tornado was in this area. Again, you can see debris all over the place. This is a shingle that there's hundreds of them, maybe thousands, that are strewn across this whole area. Another tree we're walking up on now, another one that's just been uprooted. That gives you the sense that whatever winds, whatever came through here was so powerful, it didn't just break these trees or uproot one that was old and weak. It uprooted many that look very strong. Now, here's something else that is extremely shocking. The folks from the ambulance corps say that this blue dumpster, which is sitting, I would say, close to 30 yards from the ambulance shelter, it was up against the back wall. It's been pushed or blown 30 yards from here. This is one of those big blue dumpsters that you see. I could push on this all day, and there's no chance that I'm going to be able to move it. That gives you a very clear indication of really how powerful the winds were that came through this area. Again, luckily, so far, I have not come across anyone that has been injured or has needed medical attention. Lots of wires down in the area, so you're highly encouraged to avoid this area. Widespread damage along Route 7 in Duanesburg, where we're at, and we're going to continue to stay here and assess the damage as we see it. Cap?